All right, so we'll get started. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining today. Today's presentation, Transforming Fleet Safety and Security with Cutting Edge Technology. We're going to give an introduction into some of the solutions that we have here at Bolite Technology Group on that subject. My name is Alex Salinas. I'm Vice President of Business Development for the company. I've been with the company for 20 years, so I have a little bit of experience. We're going to talk a little bit about those experiences, some case studies, and what we're dealing with today as far as fleet safety and security. All right, so here's our agenda for today, and I promise I won't keep you past the hour. We'll try to make it brief, but on our agenda today, I'm going to briefly introduce Bolide. Won't take more than a minute on that. Some of you might be new to Bolide, so I'll go over who we are, where we come from, a bit of our history, how we started, and what we do today. Then we'll get into the presentation, fleet safety, some of the challenges. But before that, who is this webinar for? If you're a fleet owner or a fleet manager looking to have more control and protect your assets, or if you're a system integrator or a service provider looking to offer these types of solutions to your clients, then this is the webinar for you. Or maybe you're a monitoring station or a CCTV installer looking to get into the mobile installation of mobile security solutions space, then you're going to hope you take a lot away from this webinar. We're going to be looking into the current fleet safety, some of the current fleet safety challenges and the security issues that we face, mainly in Latin America and the Caribbean. We're going to go over some U.S. numbers as well. We're going to see what the challenges are in each territory. We're going to go over some of Bolite's products and solutions and how we tackle and help mitigate some of these problems. We're also going to see some of the key features and solutions that we offer as a whole. We're not going to do a deep dive. We're going to have other webinars where we get more technical, but we're going to get a brief overview of the solutions that we have and how we tackle these challenges that we face in fleet management and security and safety. I'm going to go over some of the benefits to a technological approach like this, and we're going to get into some case studies. I have a couple of case studies that I'm going to share. And then finally, we're going to conclude with some questions. I'll leave some minutes at the end for some questions. However, if something comes up, something comes to mind, if you have something in mind during the presentation, don't hesitate to stop and drop the question in the chat, and we'll try to address it there. I have one of our techs with me, Jose, in the session. He'll be helping me answer the questions. Sometimes I tend to talk too much, so he'll pause. He'll answer the question, or I'll stop and answer the question during this session. So it shouldn't be more than 50 minutes. So let's get started. All right, so who is Bolite? Bolite Technology Group has been around for over 30 years now. We have humble beginnings here in Southern California. We started making covert surveillance and tracking devices 30 years ago when hardly anyone was doing it. It was a very niche market and for us, but that's how we started. Just a couple of engineers, and mainly for law enforcement and private investigators. From there, we grew our CCTV line. We focused on video surveillance. We grew our CCTV line of products, and our footprint in the CCTV industry, we started expanding as well. Now with offices in several countries, we can service any part of the Americas. We have reps and offices throughout the Americas. Mobile surveillance products have been the most in-demand solution in our portfolio now for several years, especially in Latin America and the Caribbean. So that's why I'm sharing the information I'm sharing today. It's really in demand, and we'll see why. But today we incorporate the latest in fixed surveillance products. So some of you might already know or be using some of our cameras, our fixed cameras and NVRs and VMS that incorporate edge analytics, as well as what we're going to see today, the latest in mobile asset tracking and surveillance. So over 10 years ago, we introduced this solution, the Bolite mobile solution, to the market. And today it has evolved, and it's quite evolved today. Working on the same platform and apps, we have added many features and matured it over time with feedback from many projects in several different countries in the Americas. And every country has its challenges, but we've learned and we've improved it as time goes by. Whether it's temperature or or vibrations, heat, crime, vandalism, software, telecommunications. There's been a lot of challenges, but we've improved the system now to where it's leading in the industry. We have developed a solution for different types of vehicles in different environments. We've done projects, and we tend to logistics, cash in transit, public safety, public transportation, school buses, ambulances. We've tackled some of the most challenging scenarios. So if you have a project now or something coming up, more than likely we've done something similar to what you're going to be facing. So definitely keep us in mind, because we can be of value. If you own or operate or are in charge of a fleet, then you likely know some of the challenges today in fleet management. Many factors, including crime, economic pressure, unskilled or negligent employees, are costing companies millions in loss. That in turn drives up the cost of goods and lowers profit for companies, right? This problem opens up opportunities, though, for solutions like this, and integrators, system integrators, for you that are system integrators. It opens up opportunities to relieve some of those headaches. Or if you're, monitoring station or an installer looking to get into new verticals, then this is the right time, and it's fast growing because of the demand that we have now because of the challenges. One of the things that I must say that makes us different is our open APIs. Our platform is very easy to integrate. We get that question a lot. It's customizable. I'd say about 70% of the projects that we work on, we end up customizing some part of the software or the hardware for the customer to make it fit their needs. And we do offer training and certification. We make sure that you're properly trained and certified in the software and the solution, whether you're the integrator, the monitoring station, or the end user. Most of the time, we can offer that training and certification. A lot of times, it's free of charge with the solution. ROI is big. Some of the case studies that I'm going to cover today, our loyal customers, big names that we have in different countries, and one of the things that they love, that they see immediate results. The return on investment is immediate first year, because of theft drops, better management is very notable using our solution. So that's the feedback that we get from end users and integrators alike and monitoring stations. All right, so we'll get into all right, so where are we now? What's the state of the fleet? What's the state of fleet safety today? Just to give you some numbers, here in the U.S., we have about 6 million annual crashes, which has been pretty stable. It's been a steady number, but the incidents with fleets, with trucks, with semis, has gone up significantly to now where it's 40% of accidents. I know here that where I live in Southern California, it's a major hub, right? We have the Long Beach port here, that I forget the number, but I think it's like 60% of the imports that come into the United States come through California to the Long Beach port. So we get a lot of semis, and in turn, they have to distribute those products from warehouses, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a big deal. And just the last few weeks, unfortunately, here in the neighborhood, we've had several accidents that led to fatalities. And a lot of these could have been avoided if measures were taken, or at least incidents would be would have less incidents. But we'll get into why this is happening, and how we can try to prevent it, or at least help mitigate. Right. These incidents in the U.S. are also causing insurance prices to go up. I mean, insurance prices here, especially in California, are through the roof. It's ridiculous. So insurance prices, cost of goods, and many other issues that come from that. So those are the main challenges in the U.S. In Latin America and the Caribbean, though, we have those challenges. Accidents are big, and I'll give some examples for Mexico and Colombia and Brazil and other countries where we have some experience. But the bigger problem that we have in Latin America and Caribbean is theft. And the thing is that the theft that we have, a lot of times, over 60% of the time, is violent crime, meaning hijacking an entire container or semi, at gunpoint, etc. So it's costing companies billions of dollars when you add up the entire continent and loss to the extent that it's the region as a whole is being impacted. 3.5% of its GDP is being impacted by these incidents, and these numbers are public. You can look them up, but it's quite an issue, and it's been on the rise. I know, for example, in our Mexico operation, we have a Mexico office. I think Mexico is either the second or third largest country that moves goods by ground, and they have a serious issue in a lot of their states. So it's obviously a high demand, and I'm sure in the Caribbean we see it in parts of South America as well. But like always, these issues also open up opportunities, right? There's a high demand for solutions and high tech solutions like these. What we're going to see help mitigate the issues. Um, there's data out that when you implement these solutions, you usually see an immediate drop in incidents between 20 and 50%. Some of the case studies we're going to see, we see a lot more than 50%, but we'll get into that. All right, so starting from the top, as far as safety, what's causing these accidents, what's causing the fatalities? A lot of times it's driver distraction or fatigue. Those are some of the major culprits that we see in accidents on the road. Some of the hurdles are, they're distracted, they're on their cell phone, they're tired, long hauls. I know here in the States we have laws that prevent them from driving more than X amount of hours, but we still have fatigue and long trips. So yawning, use of cell phone, eating while driving, being distracted, drinking, smoking, all these things lead to distractions and lead to these accidents, causing 1.6 million crashes in the U.S. annually. And Latin America, Caribbean is no exception. We have the same issues, and all this could be mitigated if we had real time monitoring, if we had sensors or devices that would help us monitor this real time to help try to prevent it or at least mitigate it. Fleets lose also when this happens. There's downtime, vehicles down. So and then you have insurance claims, right? So it's costing companies money, and it's costing some people their lives. So it's a serious issue. But what if we can get alerts immediately? What if we can get alerts as soon as driver is on his phone, or what if we can get alerts and they get notified when he's falling asleep, and he gets a notification when he's falling asleep, when he's distracted, when he's swerving, when he's changing lanes without putting his blinker, when he has someone in his blind spot. All these things could help mitigate these issues, and we're going to get into some of the products and solutions that we have to accomplish that. Um, Blind spots and collision. So blind spots and lane departures, as well as tailgating. There's a report that says that it costs $242 billion, and I'm sure we get this data from insurance companies. So blind spots, lane departures, and tailgating are a big issue, costing $242 billion a year worldwide. But also hitting pedestrians and hitting other vehicles is a nightmare. We see it a lot in Mexico. We see it in some countries in the Caribbean. Though along the ports or close to ports, it's a big issue. Mexico has this big issue in highways as well. And without advanced detection, accidents spike. And when we implement technological solutions, we can see that numbers drop by 30% or more, saving lives and saving money. Another issue is erratic behavior. Sometimes it's not because they're distracted or not because they're tired. Maybe they're just being irresponsible. We got irresponsible drivers or lack of training, and we get erratic behavior, erratic driving. So whether it's harsh braking, they're speeding, they're swerving, they're speeding and braking. Without sensors to detect these, then we're blind, right? As fleet managers or as owners, or if we're in charge of monitoring a fleet, without these sensors, this technology, we're blind to that. We don't know what's going on until it's too late, until an accident happens or something happens. But not only that, Their erratic driving also leads to wasting fuel, waste of fuel, which costs money. Also increases maintenance on the vehicle, so it hikes maintenance costs. And a lot of times, in certain areas, and I know definitely the Caribbean and Latin America, in high theft zones, it's tied to crime, and suspicious stops and erratic behavior could signal tampering of the vehicle. So definitely, fleets need to integrate sensors, and get this data real time, so you can flag issues and try to prevent things from happening. All right, so that's the safety part. On the security part, what's the main issue that we're seeing in Latin America is theft, theft and compliance. Theft is rampant. We're seeing an increase, especially the last few years. I don't know if it's because of the cost of living everywhere. Inflation is driving crime up, and it's driving and crime on the road is up, with containers, with truckloads, with delivery of vehicles, and just vehicles alone, and fleet vehicles. More than 1 million vehicles are stolen yearly globally. And like I said, in Latin America and the Caribbean, a lot of times it's a violent carjacking of cargo, and that's a serious issue. And we have no real time tracking. So that means that no real time tracking, delayed response to the situation. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to 100% prevent carjacking, but when you have panic button sensors, when you know a vehicle has stopped for no reason, or a vehicle goes out of its route or out of its geo zone, then you can log on remotely, or at least dispatch police, to using the GPS, and other sensors that we'll get into, to help try to reduce the loss. We had an incident in Colombia a few months ago. We do a lot of cash in transit with companies like Brinks, Prosegur, and others. And one of the armored vehicles was stolen, and they did not know that we had a GPS and a backup GPS with our mobile system. So the police were able to. It was big on the news because it was, I think, $1 million on the vehicle, and the vehicle itself. But anyways, police were able to track the vehicle, and recover part of the money and the vehicle, which would have cost the company a lot of money. So if they had not had any technology at all, then maybe they wouldn't have recovered anything at all, and they were able to act quicker, faster. So once they knew that something was going on, the vehicle had left the area, or the route, then they immediately reacted and sent police. But also in a lot of countries, or cities or states, it helps you stay compliant. I know in Mexico, if you want to transport goods from the United States into Mexico, you have to be compliant, and you have to meet certain requirements. Part of it is that you have to have solutions like this in place, and they're checked by the government or a government entity. So it helps you stay compliant. But theft, I mean, obviously, as we know, erodes profits. Insurance premiums go up 20-30% after incidents, and that drives the price of goods up as well. So we all end up paying for the theft that's happening. Getting into some of the numbers, specifically for the region, for Caribbean and Latin America, 80 to 87% of theft involves some type of. I said over 60%, but it's now 80 to 80% involves some type of violence, far exceeding the U.S. Here we have more fraud, where in Latin America and Caribbean we have more violent theft in these scenarios. I mentioned Mexico. In Mexico, 90% of goods move by land, so they have a big issue and big numbers, big loss there in Mexico. Theft was up 10% last year, as of September of last year, 10%. So that's a lot of money. Brazil, 74% of incidents. A lot of times it's food, it's beverage, our top targets. One of the case studies we'll get into is beer. Pharmaceutical is a big one, and electronics is another big one. But now we're seeing it all across the board. So in the Caribbean, the rising transnational crime, and we're seeing a lot of facility vehicle theft, warehouses, ports, and a lot of it can be linked to economic pressure. Many countries are feeling the economic pressure. Overall, thefts between 2022 and 2024 are up 15,000%. I'm sorry, 1,500%. And again, pharmaceutical and agriculture is being hit hard as well in different countries. So there's a big demand. So there's a big demand for solutions like this. And finally, before we get into products and solutions, impact on the economy and economic impact. Like I said, Latin America, Caribbean, as a region as a whole, it's about 3.5% of GDP. It disrupts supply chains, raises consumer prices. We've seen it in Mexico already. 7% increase because of the loss that they have in incidents like this. Colombia, there's some numbers there. We have a lot of issues there as well, but the entire region, there's a big need. And again, some of the root causes is rising cost of living that fuels crime, and then cross-border routes and others in this region. All right, so what do we have to tackle or help mitigate these problems? At the heart of it, let me introduce our MVR, our mobile surveillance hardware, our MVR. I have a partner under MVR 9304 4G, ADAS DSM. We'll get into ADAS DSM part of it. But what it is, it's a rugged box that allows you to connect cameras, sensors, and it already comes with hardware like GPS, Wi-Fi, and other things that we'll see here in a minute. But we have a 4-channel, 8-channel that can extend up to 12 channels as far as video. And we have 7, 8 alarm inputs, outputs that you can use to connect sensors, triggers, panic buttons. We've done locks, magnetic locks. But at the core of our solution is this MVR that we have. And they're hybrid. For those of you that are a little bit more technical, supports HD coax cameras, over the coax cameras, and IP cameras. We have 2 different versions. The ones you see there at the side, on the right side. We have a more economical version that supports and records on SD cards. That's the one on top. And the one at the bottom records on hard drive, either hard drive or solid state, up to 2 terabytes. The SD one, you can put up to 512 gigabyte SD card, and you can put 2 of those. That's the main difference on both of them. You get more storage on one than the other. There's a few other smaller differences, but those are the main differences. And then obviously the bigger one, you get more channels, 8 and up to 12 channels. The smaller one's only up to 4 channels. But other features that we have is 4G connectivity. So 4G is important for real-time video streaming. When you connect the cameras, you want to be able to stream them real time. And so they can view them from the monitoring station or your computer or the office or your cell phone. We have dual Wi-Fi antennas that come with the hardware, with the MVR. The Wi-Fi antennas are important for offloading video and data via Wi-Fi. Typically how it works is the vehicle goes out in its route. Everything is recorded and you can connect to it via 4G or the GPS real time and view at any time. But if you have no incidents reported, most of the time you're just tracking the vehicle and you set up parameters and geofences and whatnot. When the vehicle comes back to its yard, then the vehicle automatically connects via the Wi-Fi to an access point. Once it recognizes the network, then it'll start offloading the video and metadata for that day, and then you have it on your server as well. So you have redundancy. You'll have backup on the MVR, and you have backup on the servers. If at any time you want to offload or download information, whether it's video or alarms or data through 4G real time, then you can do that through 4G. Just keep in mind that you're probably going to pay a little bit more for the 4G service. And of course, we have a GPS in each unit, right? The GPS allows you to locate the vehicle real time at any time. and that's all done through the software. And we've tested these units in almost every country in the Americas. But if any of you have any questions, let us know as far as like frequencies, bands, cell providers, SIM providers. More than likely, we've already tested and certified, but let us know, and then we'd be glad to help you out. The MBRs, you see the front and the back of the MBR there. As you can see, it looks very rugged. It's a Milstead 810G certified, so it's military grade standard. We've put these MBRs in the hottest of places, in the coldest of places, in the worst road conditions. We put them through everything, and they're able to withstand. That's what they're made for these type of environments. I've seen solutions out there where they take a standard DVR or an NVR and they put it in a small box, and now they call it mobile. They say, hey, now we have something mobile because we put a recorder on a small box. But this is very rugged. It's certified, military certified. Uh, and then we offer a 3-year warranty on it, so it's a very solid product. The MBR also has alarm inputs, outputs. You see the back of the MBR there on the bottom left. You have aviation connectors for the video. You have your antenna connections, and then you'll see some IOs and those alarm inputs, outputs. You have typically 4 or 8 inputs, 1 output, and this allows you to connect things like panic buttons, different types of sensors. Like I said, we've connected magnetic locks, so you can open or lock or unlock remotely through the software. If a driver or a passenger hits a panic button, then the central station or the software or the manager gets notified immediately. That's through these alarm inputs, and pretty much any IO sensor for different applications you connect to, it's going to trigger and it's going to give you a notification on the software side. And we'll see the software here in the next couple of slides. It does have a G sensor, 3-axis G sensor, to detect erratic driving, harsh turns, impact. If the car's in an accident, then it automatically going to give you a notification. And it generates timestamps for all that. So you'll see it in the reporting, and we'll get into the reports here in a second. What do you connect to that box? So once you have the box, the MBR, then you're to connect your peripherals, your cameras. Part of this presentation is driver safety, right, and security. So the first thing you want to have is an ADAS camera and driver assistance system. This one connects to one of the channels, and what we have is this one goes on the windshield of the vehicle, pointing at the road. Obviously, it generates a warning for the driver and the central station or whoever's monitoring. If no one's monitoring, then it still logs the events, and you can later come back and see the events, and you can even graph and get charts of people going over the speed limit, erratic driving, collisions, et cetera, et cetera. So it has analytics, advanced analytics built in. It will give the driver a warning real time. So that'll either wake him up if he's too close to a vehicle, if he's departing lanes, et cetera, et cetera. So he's going to get those front collision warnings to keep a safe distance, to if he's changing lanes, if he's going too fast, then the MBR will pick it up. If he's going to hit a pedestrian, or then he'll get that notification. And there's other analytics that we have in this camera. That's the front facing road camera, the driver assistance camera. So very important to have. And you pair that with the DSM camera. So the other one monitors the road. This one drivers the cabin, the inside of the vehicle, the driver. So this is a driver behavior AI camera, and it's high resolution camera, good enough lens to capture the driver, and it will tell you, give you driver behavior. If the driver is yawning, if he's falling asleep, if he's smoking, if he's drinking, if he doesn't have his seatbelt on, many different analytics. It'll give the driver an alert, and it will also give the central station an alert. If the central station gets an alert and they see that it's an issue, they could possibly tell the driver, hey, pull over, get some rest, or they can even turn off the vehicle remotely if that's the way they set up the system. If no one's monitoring real time, then again, all the data, all the metadata is being stored on the MBR, and it's going to be stored on the server side, on the platform, on the software, so you can later review it and get data. Looks like we have a question. I'm sorry, I keep talking, but we have a question. What features of the system are available through the API integration? So anything like these alerts are available through the API. Most of the data, the metadata you can pull, and the video, obviously, we give you either through our what is it, our RSTP. I think Jose can help me there. Our real time transfer protocol, or different protocols that we support for the video. But for the API, all it is we sign an NDA and we can share the API. And if it's not on the API and there's something specific that you need, we'll work with you to get any part of the system integrated that needs to be integrated. Another question: what 4G band do these devices work on? Again, it's several different bands. Jose, if you can drop there in the chat, maybe you already did. But we've tested it in like, again, most of the countries in the Americas, and if not all, and we haven't had any issues so far. Another thing that's neat and important about this camera here is that we now do facial recognition because of customer requests. So we had a lot of incidents. So we had a lot of customers where, let's say, a driver was scheduled for a route, let's say 9 to 5 route. Maybe he went out to party a little too hard last night. Maybe he went drinking, or maybe he just wasn't feeling it. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to give my route to my cousin, my buddy, or anybody else." And so once you assign a person to a vehicle, then you're going to have facial recognition, and the system, if you pre-configure it that way, will not start. It'll delay the start of the vehicle, and it's going to send you a notification. So there, and from there you can take measure, right? You can disable the vehicle. You can call to see what's going on. So you have facial recognition at any time in the system as well with this driver camera. Another question that we have: how stable does this network need to be, and what happens once the signal is lost? So one of the things that when I mentioned that we've been doing this on the mobile side more than 10 years, and we've been making it better and better and better. One thing that we're very good at is managing the bandwidth and the way the system transmits the video and the data. It requires very little bandwidth. You're going to be surprised. We're going to leave that for another session. Again, this is a brief overview. We're going to be having technical sessions where we deep dive and we see those type of things. How much bandwidth? We'll answer the question there in the chat. I'll let Jose answer it, but we'll deep dive in another session as far as actual bandwidth to keep this running, the network running. What happens when you lose connection? So if you're worried about losing connections, we have units that use 2 SIM cards, or we have now what's becoming very popular is users are using global SIM cards. So when you don't have coverage with one operator, it automatically switches to another operator. Well, what happens if you're somewhere where you have no signal at all? One of the things that people have started using, I know in Colombia we had a case where they started using Starlink. That's relatively new, but what it does is once it gets a connection established again, it's going to connect back to the server, and you can upload information, data that's on the mobile DVR. All right, so we looked at the ADAS and the DSM cameras that are important for safety, right? For looking at the road and looking at the driver. We spoke about blind spots. This is a big one for big rigs, especially for like 18-wheelers or larger vehicles, and even the Sprinter type vans. We're seeing a lot of accidents, people getting hit, cars being hit. So adopting, if it's not, some of the newer vehicles have it, but they don't have the analytics that we have, and it doesn't tie into a fleet management software like the one we have. So we offer a 360 camera system. So the camera you see on there, you can use it as a standalone. It'll give you like 270 degrees on its own. But when you combine and connect 4 of them with our software, you can get a 360 view of your vehicle, kind of like how you see it on the new vehicles that you buy for personal use now, like a Tesla or these vehicles. You get a 360 view, but also you're getting pedestrian detection. It tells you that there's a pedestrian there. It logs it. It gives you an alert. You can choose to add uh, an audio device that we have, the one you see there in the center of the screen, that will beep and tell you, hey, pedestrian. And it'll tell the pedestrian too, be careful. And it gives you a audible and visual warning. It has red LED lights to try to prevent accidents from happening. So we've seen that this is cuts accidents between 20 and 50% right after people implement it. And then we've had countries where, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos on YouTube. I think Russia was big on this, where pedestrians were jumping into vehicles. They were jumping into vehicles and saying, I got hit," for an insurance claim or a lawsuit. Well, now if you have a system like this with no blind spots, not only are you looking out for pedestrians and vehicles, but you're recording everything. You're protecting yourself, so everything gets on camera that, hey, this guy is trying to pull a fast one. We see that this provides very fast return on investment through reduced downtime, liabilities, accidents. Um, so it's a very good system. You can connect the ADAS, the DSM, and these four cameras. So that would give you six cameras total, and you still have room for additional cameras, say for the back of the box of the vehicle or any other camera where you see any other place where you see fit. These need to connect to a monitor. We'll get another slide to the what the monitor, excuse me, what the monitor's for. But you would have a touchscreen monitor and a monitor for the driver, obviously, so they can see so they can see 360 around the vehicle. Very important. Also, another accessory that we have for safety and for security is a OBD connection to the CAN bus. So we connect to directly to the computer of the vehicle from the MBR, and that opens up a whole lot of metadata for us, for you, the owner or the operator. So now you're going to get things like seatbelt, oil when the vehicle needs to oil change, mileage. Though we can get the mileage from the software and the GPS, but now you're getting it directly from the computer. Speed, rough brakes, when they break, when you need to change the brakes. Like I said, oils and fluids, and many other things that we get from the OBD, right? And you'll see that live on the screen when you click on. We'll get into the software here in a second. When you see the vehicle, you're going to see its location, its speed, its status, and all these different variables that you get from the OBD, and it's all being recorded. It's being recorded on the MBR, and it's also being recorded on the server. So maybe if it's this part is not being monitored, say on a monthly basis, you can check, hey, which vehicles need new brakes, which need oil changes, or you can start tracking some of these things, and you can run reports. You can pull live vehicle data for reports, RPM, like I said, speed, fuel. You can flag anomalies, and then get the custom reporting or you can get the reports to the owners or management in the form of either Excel, or we have dashboards as well. There's some dashboards that you can customize, and we'll see those here in a minute. All right, now that we have ADAS DSM 360 system, what are some of the other cameras that I can implement to help reduce, to record, to get video, and to help reduce incidents? Well, these are the most commonly used cameras that we have. The one on the top left, the BV1209 MOV. That's a very rugged camera. That's probably one of the most popular ones that we have. Typically, it installs in the exterior of the camera. Super rugged. You take a bat to this camera, hit it with a bat many times, and nothing's going to happen to the camera. Customers like to put it on the side of the vehicle, sometimes the back, sometimes the front, on the exterior. We've had incidents where drivers intentionally run the vehicle into trees to try to knock off the camera because they're involved in internal theft. But this is a very rugged camera. If it's installed properly, it's very, very hard to break. So that's when you need rugged camera, the BV1209 MOV. Right below it, That's the in-cabin camera. That one has audio. So that's the one that you want when you are gonna record inside the cabin and want audio as well. The audio is optional. You can turn it off. I know audio is a sensitive issue in some countries. I know here in the states, here in the United States, some states don't allow audio, but you have that option. You have in-cabin audio. So now you're recording the audio onto the MBR, and you can even log on and listen real time to what's being said. Maybe it's an argument. Maybe the driver just wants to communicate something to you, so you can listen in to what's happening in the vehicle. Another option that we have that I didn't put on here is we have two-way communication. We do have a like a walkie-talkie radio that you can connect to the mobile DVR, and now you have two-way communication between the driver and the central station, or the driver and management, or the software. Third on the bottom left there, you see the BV1209. I misspelled that. It's MOB, but that's a backup camera. Why is that? What's unique about that camera is that, like I said, it's made for backup of the vehicle, back of the vehicle, and has a mirror image. So that way, when you see the license plate of the vehicle that's behind you, you don't see it mirrored. So you can mirror the image. And it's gonna be legible. The license plate of the vehicle behind you is gonna be legible. Top right, that's a dual windshield camera. Say you don't need ADAS DSM, but you do want to record the road and the cabin. But say, hey, I don't need the ADAS DSM part of it right now. I only want video for security reasons, or I want to record evidence. Then this is the camera for you. You put it on the windshield. The cameras actually rotate and they're adjustable. Again, so one is facing the road, the other one faces the cabin. Or if you want both of them facing the road, or both of them facing the camera, then you get a much wider angle. So that's a very neat camera. Right below that, we have the people counting camera, BV1009CT1. That one is mainly for public transportation, school buses. That one is installed in the entrance of buses, and it counts people real time as they enter and as they exit. And on the software, you're going to see real time how many people are in the bus, how many people have come on the bus for that day or whatever period you decide, and how many people got off the bus. We still have several countries where we sell this solution, where drivers collect cash. So the owners of the buses want to know, hey, am I missing money? How many people got on the bus? Am I overcrowding the bus? Is it creating a hazard? All these things. So we have that's a people counting camera. And in the bottom, the last one, bottom right, that's part of the same camera that makes up the 360. Like I said, you can use it on its own. You get a 270 degrees if you use it on its own, and you can install it any part of the vehicle. Finally, on the hardware monitor, we have the option on the monitor. Neat thing is that this monitor, obviously, beside integrating with the system, supports Apple CarPlay and Android. We have customers that say, hey, I don't want customers using their phone for like maps or Waze. So they'll put the maps and the Waze on the. You can do a split screen. They'll have the maps or the Waze on this monitor on half of it, and the other half they'll have their cameras, either the two most important cameras or four most important cameras of the vehicle, and they use that monitor for that. And so you have picture in picture, dual screen, and you can play back from this monitor as well if you choose to. All right, finally on the hardware, on the mobile DVRs, we do have a compact economic version. So if you have a smaller vehicle, we have this dash camera that incorporates everything I just talked about is in this dash camera. So this dash camera has a built-in camera, the one you see there, that faces the front, and it comes already in the package with an additional camera. The camera that's built into the dash camera that has the ADAS, and the other camera has DSM. So you get the analytics. The dash camera mounts directly on the windshield, and it gives you the same thing the mobile DVR gives you. It gives you GPS, it gives you Wi-Fi, it gives you 4G connectivity. Obviously, this one doesn't have a hard drive, but you can put an SD card into it and record on the dash camera. The software part of it, as far as the tracking and all that you get, is the same. Drawback to this, obviously, is that it can be tampered with. So if tampering is a concern, then you don't want to use the dash camera because someone can just rip it off or damage it. Where the mobile DVR, a lot of times, it's placed somewhere in the vehicle where they don't have easy access to, or sometimes it's even put in a lockbox so that it's not tampered with. But like I said, dash camera has all the features I just talked about, all packed into into this small unit. It's a very compact. I highly recommend it. It's priced very aggressively, intentionally for we do well with this in Latin America and the Caribbean. So I encourage you to give these a try. The dash camera. All right, getting into the software. I have a few slides here on the software. Now that you have all the hardware connects in the vehicle and it connects to the software, our BMMS software, Bolide Mobile Management Software. What is it? You know, you get real-time video and metadata on every vehicle, its location, and all the data that you're getting from the peripherals like the OBD and the ADAS and the DSM. You get real-time alerts, panic buttons, events. You can set up geo fences. If the vehicle goes out of its area, then you're going to get automatic alert. You can set up routes. If the vehicle goes out of its route, you're going to get an alert. Now from there, you can decide, hey, you can even turn off the vehicle if you want, or you can dispatch authorities or law enforcement. You can set up geo zones. So I know like some of the projects that we worked on, there's like very hot areas, right, where you don't want vehicles going into because you know that the likelihood of them getting robbed or mugged are high. So as soon as they go into those areas, you can log on or contact the driver or dispatch police and see what's going on. On the main page there on the right, you'll see what the software looks like. On the left, you see the tree. You see the list of all the vehicles. You'll see the list of all the vehicles they have on your system. We support up to 50,000 vehicles on this platform. We've never had a project where we reach 50,000, but we have projects where we reach 10,000 and a little bit over that. Currently, right now, we're working on a project with 15,000 units. So the software is built to handle large fleets. I know that I've seen competitors and people try units that are not well matured or maybe because they're least expensive. You know, if it's for one vehicle, they operate fine. As soon as you start adding 10, 20, 30 vehicles because of the video, handling the video, handling all the metadata coming into one point, one software, one server, they get hung up. And that's where ours does not. And because we've worked on this for many, many years, it's proven it works. So it's very, very stable software. You can run the software on your servers, our server, on the cloud. It's very, very flexible. What several partners do that we have is they set up their own servers. They load our Bolide mobile management software to manage their clients' vehicles, and they charge a monthly fee. They'll charge hosting, they charge monitoring, they charge backup. Some even go above and beyond, and they offer the service to run the reports because our platform, and you'll see the next slide, allows you to run reports, and you can get those to management or the owners of the fleets and say, hey, these are your drivers that have erratic driving. These are your bad drivers. These are your bad actors. These are the vehicles that need maintenance, preventive maintenance. These are the vehicles that are coming due. So there's all kinds of different reports that you can run, and it allows you to do graphs and dashboard, and you can do this as a service for your clients and your customers. Or if you're the user yourself, you can have someone operate it and run these reports, and then management gets them so they see that they have an efficient fleet that's running. Part of the BMBMS software, you get the evidence software. So the evidence administrator software, you do things like event auditing. You can filter by many different types of events on X number of vehicles. You can run reports on the history of routes and look for patterns that might cause issues, or if they've had issues on routes, try to determine why. So you get this evidence manager part of the software, and allows you to view real time, view reports real time, export reports. The evidence manager lets you run graphical reports, like I said, filter by many different types of events and alarms, run statistics, even schedule, like you can automatically schedule periodic downloads. So like every 30 days, I want this report downloaded, and you'll save the reports. This is a great way to evaluate drivers and teams and just your overall efficiency on your fleet. This is just another image of what the software looks like. Like I say, you have your main view where you see your cameras. Here we have 4, but you can do up to 128 per screen. If you have more than 128 views, then you just add them. The software allows you to run like a video monitor while several monitors at the same time. At the bottom, you're getting your alerts and alarms real time. To the right of that, you see the map and you see the location of the vehicle real time. You'll notice there, you can somewhat see it. You see like device ID, time, location, status, like GPS. If you have any alerts, if the vehicle has any issues. If you have the OBD connector, then it's going to tell you things, information, the seatbelt, and other things as well from the OBD. And to the left, that's where you see all your different vehicles, and you can name your vehicles. You can create groups for the vehicles in different zones. It's pretty flexible as far as configuration. This is the part. This is fairly newer, but this is the part that where you can monetize and offer as a service to your clients. This is customizable, and all the data that you're getting, the telemetry and all the data from all the vehicles, you can put it on dashboards to make it easily digestible for your customers. All the information that's important to them, vehicles that were on time, routes that were on time, routes that were delayed, accidents, bad actors, bad drivers, incidents, anything you can think of, all the data that's coming from the MVR from the vehicles, you put it, you can put it on these dashboards and view it real time. So you can view it real time. You're watching your software, you're watching your vehicles, and you're watching this data real time. But also you can export it. You can download and export it and hand it to customers or management or owners of the fleets. At the hour now, so I'm almost done, I promise. But I want to get into what's coming up next. Again, I think, and I always say the best R&D is customer feedback, because they're the ones that tell you, hey, we noticed this, we noticed that. Could it do this? Can it do this better? Or we would like to see this. So we've had feedback lately here on the West Coast in California, and I know Mexico and other countries. We're getting a lot of fog that's causing vehicles to get into accidents, whether it's public vehicle transportation or semis, because of the fog. So now we have customers that are wanting to implement thermal imaging, so they can possibly see people or vehicles if it's with fog or nighttime, right? Just nighttime driving, give you a little bit better of an edge to identify possible scenarios or prevent scenarios. We're also going to be implementing more advanced analytics. Right now, we do facial recognition for the driver in cabin, but we're doing already, and we're almost ready to release. We should be able to release it here at IAC West in Las Vegas. License plate recognition and facial recognition on the other cameras, so that you can detect facial recognition for say pedestrians or police cars, the passengers, buses, public transportation, license plate recognition to recognize vehicles that could possibly be looking to hijack or patterns. So we have more analytics that can be added. That and other analytics that we're working on that won't disclose now. We're going to be adding more sensors to the system. We had customers that have been asking for different types of sensors to help prevent accidents. So we'll be doing that. And on the software side, one thing that's being worked on right now, that's almost done, is a safety checklist. I know some of the GPS companies have it, but we're also adopting it on our app. You do get an app as well, of a phone app, where the driver, before he checks out the vehicle or takes the vehicle, he has to go through a checklist in the app saying, are the tires good, windshield good, headlights, et cetera, to check out the vehicle, and that gets logged and gets reported and gets stored in the server and the software, so that you have evidence that the vehicle went out okay. And we're also currently, because of projects that we're working on, we're building out an app for public transportation. The app will tell you like different routes that you can take, where you can take the bus, what's your best route to if you're taking a public transportation, where's your closest bus stop, what route to take, ETA on the bus, where's the bus, is it running late, all that for public transportation. We're building out the app now. That should be ready in a couple of months. But these are some of the things that we're working on for our mobile solution. So in conclusion, and I'm a few minutes over, Conclusion, key takeaways. With our mobile surveillance solution and implementing analytics like ADAS, DSM, and some of the other peripherals, you can transform fleet safety and prevent accidents, reduce theft. Ensure real-time monitoring, especially in high-risk areas like Latin America and the Caribbean. Leverage AI-driven analytics, the reports, leverage the tracking, and the OBD, the integration, and some of the other hardware and analytics that we have built in. It's proven to work. We can share. I share two, but we can share many case studies in different verticals where we've helped either with theft or with accidents, or just efficiency as a whole for the fleet. Maybe you don't have theft, but you just want to run a more efficient fleet. And that in summary creates a lot of business opportunities for those of you that are, again, installers, integrators, monitoring stations, or a tech company, or even an IT company looking to get into this space. There's a big demand. There's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity for you to provide a system, a solution that works for a lot of customers that right now are needing something like this. And Bolide has a proven track record, and we can tailor to your customers' needs and demands. With that being said, I know we had maybe a few more questions. I wasn't able to get to all of them, but I think I got the main ones that I was texted. But again, if you have any other questions, reach out to us. Natalia, I don't know if you can put the link tree. We have other presentations. Again, this is a brief overview. We're going to be doing 1-hour sessions later on where we go technical. We look at how it works. So someone asked about bandwidth and bands, how it installs. We're going to be doing sessions on how to properly install this. We also, like I said, we offer to our partners certification and training. So keep that in mind. All right. Once again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me this morning.